Good morning from Plopsaland De Panne. We've just arrived. We just got held at the Helden Gate and we've come straight down to the Ride to Happiness. First time we've ever been here, so first time trying out all these rides today. We're very excited, but of course, we've come for this beauty right behind us here. So we won't delay. There's no point making this intro longer than it needs to be. We're going to head straight on the Ride to Happiness and get a couple of off-ride shots, and then we're going to share our first full thoughts and review. First time riding Ride to Happiness. So we'll see you in a bit.
Can't wait.
Moment when it arrives. Live today, love tomorrow, unite forever.
We just got off our first ride on the Ride to Happiness. El?
It was the most incredible ride I've ever been on. All the elements, the hang time, the air time, the inversions, just everything about it was just amazing.
Yeah, it really, I mean, we obviously came into this knowing that it was going to be a world-class ride, but I think with the rides that we've done currently, which is only most UK parks and Phantasialand in Germany, there's so much on there. I was saying when we came off the ride, now understand when enthusiasts say about the different elements and how much it can bring to a ride. You know, the amount of hang time, the air time you get in there, the two launches, one being the stationary launch and the rolling launch as well, and then there are elements on there that I wouldn't even know the names of. It really came together to make a world-class ride. The question is, of course, at the moment, the rides that we've got are limited. Our number one at the moment has been Taron. Has Taron been dethroned?
100%.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's not a knock on Taron. It's not a bad ride by any means, and it's still a solid number two. But that is on a different level. The theming, the onboard audio, just everything about it just came together to make an all-round incredible ride. And I want to go around again, but I think next we're going to head on
Maybe
Heidi, as it's right there. So yeah, first ride on Heidi, but yeah, Ride to Happiness, solid number one. Can't wait to go on it again, and that was before it even warmed up. That's like first thing in the morning. It's just after 10.
I must say as well, operations were fantastic this morning.
Walked straight on, and we had a little bit of time beforehand, just wandering around getting off-ride shots before we actually went on the ride.
Yeah.
And we were still straight into the station and straight on the train. We were on row 2 as well, to point out as well. So we got some decent hang time on that first inversion at the start. But yeah, I want to try a front row to get even more hang time.
Front row and back
and I
row.
want to try a back row to see what the launches feel like on there as well. So
great.
We'll see what happens later in the day. But yeah, Heidi next.
Yeah, let's go. tidy the ride there. Nice wooden coaster. I would say it was all right, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nothing spectacular. I mean, the drop looked better off ride than what it felt on ride.
Yeah.
It's almost like you expected it to keep going on and then it just kind of just stopped. It's also first thing in the morning. Again, it's like just after 10, so it hasn't really warmed up. I feel like I've never really been able to notice that on a ride about it warming up, but that one just felt like it could have been faster. It felt a little bit slow.
I just think the start of the drop, you thought, oh, this is going to be really good. But then, as soon as I thought that, it was sort of over.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was a bit...
There's nothing really happened much after that, you know, there was like twists and turns and that. I actually thought the ending, just before you come back into the station, you got a little bit of airtime and a little bit of rattle, and then you got some harsh brakes there at the end. And then they've got that nice little scene as you sort of come into the station, but they stopped you before the scene, and then when the other train was loaded, it then went in and then round. So you went round there quite quickly, so you wasn't really able to see anything, which was a little bit of a shame. But other than that, it was decent.
It's a good addition to the park.
Yeah, it's like for the target demographic, I guess. Like it's fairly big for children. You know, sort of like as you start getting into roller coasters, I suppose it looks quite big and intimidating.
It looks more intimidating off ride.
But actually on ride, it's just a decent wooden coaster. Not much to say about it, really. Yeah. I mean, obviously we just come off the Ride to Happiness, so it's never going to reach that level. But yeah, taking it on its own, decent wooden coaster, and maybe ride it a bit later in the day once it's warmed up to see. We had a back row ride there as well, so the fact that it was still pretty slow was a little bit disappointing. But it's only a 6-cart train,
we'll give it another go later.
Yeah, and I want to get a front row, because I think that might change it. But yeah, right. I don't know where we're going next.
Probably Anubis.
Anubis. We'll see you there. Roller skater done. Anubis next. I was just pointing to Elle on the ride about this giant table and chair here, and saying how the theming here is so much better than anything we've got in the UK at the moment in terms of a junior coaster here, having this much love and care in terms of like the big props, like the sweets, the sunglasses, the lipstick, you know, just not a throwaway coaster, because obviously this is a family park, but just how much detail's got into it, it's so good. I mean, look at the size of that table.
That was what was on the ride camera. It was Jack pointing to the table.
I pointed to the table to Elle while we were on the ride, and I didn't notice the camera, so in the photo it looks like I'm giving Elle a school lesson. But yeah, onwards and upwards. We said we were doing Anubis next, but we're sort of just having a wander, so... Are we? Yeah. I reckon we'll get caught on something else next.
Probably.
We'll see. Let's get going.
We've just been for a ride on the #LikeMe coaster. The ride was pretty basic. It worked really well with the landscaping, and the station was really well done. It really felt like I was in a Year 6 disco again. But the coaster was it was, you know, fine as a kid's coaster, but nothing too special, and a little bit uncomfortable, I must say.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm crushed in the corner.
But let's get on to Anubis.
So we just got off our first ride on Anubis. Great launch coaster that. Obviously has the rolling launch straight out of the station. Several inversions and actually quite a good bit of hang time, especially on the end here, which if you wait just a second, here she comes. Didn't get it on shot, got the wrong bit. But yeah, great bit of hang time at the end there. Yeah, I really enjoyed it actually.
Oh yeah, it really took me by surprise actually. I thought it looks not that intimidating off ride, but on ride, as you go through that launch, it's so snappy, whips you over that top hat. It's a really good coaster actually.
Yeah, and really smooth as well.
Very smooth.
I had heard that it was smooth prior to coming, and yeah, it's also you can hear the roar of it going round, but considering sort of the type of ride that it is, it's not rattly, it's smooth, it's fairly quiet.
It's very quiet.
Like
you can't hear it.
Unless you're right next to it like we are, you can't really hear it around the park. So yeah, really impressed actually. Worth coming over to ride it.
Yeah, it's also very hidden, so I feel like you can't really see it unless you're on the ride, which adds to the experience.
Yeah, definitely. So we're not too sure what we're going to get next, so we're just going to have a wander and see where we end up.
We've just come into a place called Meierland now, and it is incredible in here. The theming is immense. I'll show you some shots I've got of it, but it is incredible. And Jack's now going down the slides like the baby he is. So after the last section, we said we were going to come to the Ride to Happiness again, but it was down, unfortunately. I don't really know why. So we ended up going on Anubis twice because there was no one there. So we got a front row, which was a great ride, wasn't it?
Yeah, I much prefer. We had the first ride we had was a back ride. I wouldn't say I much preferred it, but I definitely enjoyed it a lot more. The launch just felt snappier. You just got to enjoy what I think is a top hat.
Yeah, the views over that top hat were great.
Yeah, and just being on the front, I felt like you felt it more.
You felt the whip.
And then we also got row 2 on there as well, so we've done all the rows on there now, and row 2 was fine. I mean, it's a great ride wherever you sit, but
I think
definitely,
front row,
yeah, I
personally.
enjoyed the front row on that one for sure.
So then we saw that Ride to Happiness was actually running again, so we came over, but it was only running one train, so we did get on it, but it took us a while for how many people there were in front of us.
Yeah, we were pretty much went straight up into the station, so we were going to be straight on it, but we probably still waited maybe 15 minutes in the station or so.
Yeah, it wasn't great operations there, but I mean, once we got on it, we got a back row ride, and it was, I mean, that's why the ride is so good, is because wherever you sit, you're always going to get a different experience, and I was scared when I was on the ride, which shows that it's a fantastic ride.
Yeah, I mean, the back row really transformed the ride. I mean, we had a row 2 this morning, and we said this morning how much of a great ride it is. The back row blew it out of the water for me. Yeah. It was like your bum was up the seat constantly.
Yeah.
You didn't know where you were. We were facing backwards most of the ride as well, so you couldn't see what you were coming up into, which obviously adds to the fear factor as well.
Yeah.
Width side to side.
Coming up vertically, you're looking down.
Yeah, it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Can't wait to get back on. We still want to get a front row ride, of course, and also try row 2, try all the rows. But as far as I can tell, that is a back row ride for me.
Yeah, I think I agree so far. But let's see on further rides what happens.
Yep.
So after we went on the Ride to Happiness, we then went over to Heidi again. Obviously, this morning we weren't massively impressed with it, but after a second ride, we got a front row. And I must say it was running a lot better. I think probably it warmed up a bit throughout the day. And coming down that drop, just made the experience so much better being on the front.
Yeah, I mean, it's about 2 o'clock now, just after. We got on it just after 10 this morning, a back row. This front row was much better. It just felt a bit whippier.
Yeah.
And of course, like, you're never going to get the ultimate whip at the front, as it's quite a small carriage anyway. But I preferred it on the front. It just felt like it was running better. The view was great. There she goes. The views were better. Yeah, overall, much preferred it. It might be good to get a back row ride later in the day, maybe tomorrow, further in the day, to see if it's any better there. But yeah, still, it was a great coaster. Much preferred it on the front to the back this afternoon. But yeah, I just can't wait to get back on the Ride to Happiness, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's the next port of call. We've got the water coaster and the log flume to do as well, but I don't know how much of a soaker they'll be, so it might be worth riding those a bit later in the day. But yeah, definitely get back on the Ride to Happiness and just hope we're not waiting as long.
Yeah, I mean, the sun's out now. It's absolutely burning my back, so we're chilling out here right by Ride to Happiness. She comes out right over the top of us.
I must say, this park has really blown me away in terms of the theming. There's loads of different areas, which I think I didn't realise was gonna be the case. I thought Ride to Happiness was going to be well themed, but the rest of it was going to be sort of a bit disappointing. But everywhere is really professionally done.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the Switzerland area with Heidi, you've obviously got the Ride to Happiness area, you've got the Viking area with the Zampella Disco, you've got the farm,
yeah.
You've got, what's the bee called?
I don't know what the bee is.
Bumba, the bee. Her little indoor area was fantastic.
Oh, yeah, really.
You got the new clown guy, I forget his name as well. That indoor area, every area they've got here and every ride is just themed brilliantly. Yeah, really impressed. Was definitely worth, I mean, it was obviously worth coming over here for the Ride to Happiness alone, but to come and experience the park, even though it is more of a family park, it was still definitely worth the trip over here.
And I think if you've got kids as well, it's a great balance. You've got your thrill rides for the adults and the thrill seekers, but you've also got a lot of flat rides for the kids. So I think, you know, for a family, this park's great. You know, it's not very far from the UK. If you're coming from the UK, it's definitely worth the trip.
Yeah, and if you don't know how to get here, check out the video that we did previously where we came over on the Eurotunnel just this morning. But yeah, I guess we'll continue our day now after a bit of a chill out here and try and get some more rides on the water rides, Ride to Happiness, before we head to the hotel and potentially to the water park later.
Yeah.
So, see you in a bit.
See you later. So after the last clip, we did a front row on Ride to Happiness, which again was absolutely fantastic. Then we had a nice ride on Dino Splash, but it was more like a rapids really. It was quite fast, so you couldn't really take anything in. But we didn't get too wet on that. But as you can tell, we got wet somehow, and that was by the water coaster. It was, I mean, we were drenched.
Super Splash was the right name for it.
Yeah, it was super splashy. We were on the back row. And
back right.
Yeah, back right, and it was just, I've never experienced anything so wet in my life.
Well, Valhalla was a lot worse than that.
Do you think?
Yes.
Oh
yes.
no.
Valhalla was incredible. Everything was soaked on Valhalla. To be fair, my hair, my body, and the upper part of my trousers, but our shoes are bone dry.
Yeah,
and
the
that's
shoes
the thing
are
that
bone
matters.
dry. Yeah. But we won't be doing it again. But I think that's probably the end of our day today, and we're going to head off to the hotel now, I think.
Yeah, we're going to see if we can check in. I think it's nearly 4 o'clock. And yeah, we'll see you in the hotel room.
See you later.
sliding in from day 2 of the vlog here to showcase our second ride on the log flume. We had no queue, so we thought, oh, we'll get on it. It was particularly fast today. We got splashed and
We've had a casualty.
we've had an absolute casualty. Screamish viewers, look away now. First injury to happen on a log flume ever, I reckon.
Yeah. Because we slid forward, it went so fast down that second drop. I was holding on and we slid forward in the boat and it clipped one of the metal things that were holding the poles together.
Yeah, I was in the front and I slid right forward as well. No injuries my side, but definitely a soaking nonetheless.
Yeah, and that's just shouldn't be happening on a log flume. I feel like there's something wrong there if that's happening on a log flume.
It was moving really, really fast today. I didn't get to see any of the theming, and yeah, the first bit of the drop was all right, and then the second bit slid right forward. It's like being in a car crash.
Yeah, it was a little bit. It took me by surprise.
Anyway, we'll make you feel better by getting a, 6th, 7th ride on Ride to Happiness now?
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll feel better after that.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll cure me.
So we made it to the Plopsa Hotel in between this clip and the last clip. So we went back to the car, got our stuff, checked in. Really nice, easy process. In the first floor, right at the back. It took us ages to get to the room. But checked in, sorted ourselves out all nicely. And the plan was that we were going to drop our stuff off here and go straight down to the water park. This is about 4:30, so we thought we'd get ourselves ready, walk down there, check that place out, and yeah, then we'd come back, shower, and get ready for dinner. However, things didn't go to plan, because when we got to the check-in desk, the lady said that males need to wear, are they briefs, did we say?
Yeah.
So basically skin-tight swimming trunks, which I've never worn in my life, nor have I ever really seen anyone else wear unless they're in an Olympic swimming pool. So that caught me by surprise. However, she did say she had a pair, which she did offer to me, but they were too small. So, long story short, we didn't end up getting in there. They did have briefs for sale in the shop. They were €55 each. It is what it is. You know, it's a shame because we paid for the hotel and that was included with it, along with the park. But we were only going to spend an hour in there anyway. It wasn't the main reason we came here. So instead, I think what we're going to do is we're going to head over just down the street just to check out a bit of Belgium, really, and see what shops they got down there. Might all be shut, actually, because it's a Sunday.
Could be, yeah.
But just to get a bit of fresh air and just sort of, yeah, just enjoy ourselves. But to cap off the day that we've had, it's been a great day, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been great. I think it's definitely worth coming to. You know, it's relatively close to the UK, and the Ride to Happiness is just fantastic anytime you ride it. So from that standpoint, I think it was definitely worth the visit.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an early start. We got up at 3:15 this morning, UK time. And then, yeah, we got to Plopsaland around 9:30, I think it was.
Yeah.
So it was sort of from leaving our house to Plopsaland, it was probably, maybe 4.5 hours, which isn't too bad considering you think you've come across and technically you've been in 3 countries, UK, France and Belgium. And it was dead straightforward. And of course, the Ride to Happiness was definitely worth getting over here to ride. So definitely no regrets here. And staying in the Plopsa Hotel, which is grand, and we'll do a separate video touring the room and the hotel itself as well. Really looking forward to staying here, looking forward to dinner later and breakfast as well, which we'll get some shots of for the hotel vlog. But yeah, overall, Ride to Happiness exceeded my expectations by far, actually. Of course, it's been hyped up a lot online, but I kept my expectations relatively low. We haven't been on that many rides, and our tastes seem to differ to sort of main enthusiasts. So where we sort of building ourselves up to some of the bigger rides, and it's been a process and a journey, which we'll talk about in another video. But yeah, it blew us away. That back row ride we had around 2 o'clock, it was just... Yeah, I can't wait to go. I need to get a back row ride on there again tomorrow because it was just so good. Heidi was a good ride. You know, the front row ride we had in the afternoon I really enjoyed. What else have we done today?
We've done Anubis, which I thought was probably their second best ride here. And that was a really good fun ride as well. Probably not worth coming here just for that. But as a secondary ride to the Ride to Happiness, it was good and took us by surprise for how good it was. The water rides were okay. It's good that they've got them for a bit of variety, but I wouldn't say either of them I will be running back to do again. But they were good to have anyway.
Especially the super splash of how wet we got. I don't want that tomorrow when we're driving back to the UK.
But as well, you know, all the kids' rides, not that we went on any of them, but there was a fantastic variety of different things for people to go on. So yeah,
Yeah, great family park, and yeah, overall, really enjoyed our day here. We might pick up a few shots tomorrow to fill out this vlog, but I don't think we'll do a second day because we did everything we needed to do today. Oh, bit of finger there. But yeah, so that was our first ever trip to Plopsaland. So we hope you enjoyed watching this video and the videos that went along with it. The travel vlog over the Eurotunnel, and of course the hotel vlog, which we still got to film as this current moment. But yeah, we've really enjoyed our day here. And yeah, looking forward to potentially coming back and riding to Ride to Happiness. Looking forward to riding it tomorrow at this standpoint right now. And yeah, looking forward to getting to many more theme parks as well, which I'm sure we'll start vlogging and recording and yeah, keeping a track of for us, for our own benefit, really. So thank you very much for watching. If you did find this video, please do leave a like, comment below if you've been here and what you think of the Ride to Happiness, and of course do subscribe for more adventures in the future. But yeah, as of for now, we will see you in the next video. See you later.
Bye.